My dear brothers and sisters, a happy family makes a happy home. The family is truly one among God's masterpieces. Why do I say that? I say that because God and His Church, through the popes, have continually highlighted the importance of a family. Let us recall the words of Pope Francis at the World Meeting of Families in 2015 in Philadelphia, wherein he said, "The most beautiful thing that God made," so the Bible tells us, was the family. He created man and woman, and He gave them everything. He entrusted the world to them. Grow, multiply, cultivate the earth, make it bear fruit, let it grow. All the love He put into that marvelous creation, He entrusted to a family. Pope St. John Paul II devoted special attention to the family. In his letter to families, and especially in his apostolic exhortation, Familiaris Consortio, the Pope called the family the way of the Church. Further, Pope John Paul II also said in Familiaris Consortio that the family is the center and the heart of the civilization of love, and that the future of humanity passes by way of the family. The Second Vatican Council, Gaudium et Spes, referred to the family as the school of humanity. Pope Pius XII, in his address in 1942, said that the family with the children make them a church in miniature. My dear sisters and brothers, the early church understood the Christian family as an ecclesia domestica, or the domestic church. By creating a home where love, care, forgiveness, and growth in the family flourishes among the family members, married couples reflect the life of the church in the world. The church also depends on the family, calling it to be a beacon, a reflection of God's people. A happy family and a happy home will please God. Loving the family means being able to appreciate its values and capabilities, fostering them always. Loving the family means identifying the dangers and the evils that threaten it in order to overcome them. Loving the family means endeavoring to create for it an environment favorable for its development. This will form happy families and happy homes. Family is not an important thing, it is everything, someone said. A happy family is, however, an earlier heaven, said the Nobel laureate George Bernard Shaw. The family, to be an efficacious sign of Christ's presence, must live in love, peace, and joy. A happy family surely makes a happy home. Cardinal Francis Xavier Van Tuan, now Venerable Van Tuan, who spent 13 years in communist prison in Vietnam, said that the first seminary, the first novitiate, the first teachers' college is the Catholic family. No supervisor, however talented or expert, can replace the parents. If this most fundamental unit breaks down, the future of the church and of human society will also be shaky and will collapse. On the day Pope John XXIII turned 50, he wrote a letter to his parents in which he said, Dear Mom and Dad, today I have reached 50 years of age. God has given me many positions in the church. I have been to many places. I've studied much. But no school has given me more instruction or been more beneficial than that which I received when I sat on your laps. Sisters and brothers, a family is a circle of strength and love, founded on faith and blessed by God. It is where God's love is visible. It is togetherness. It is laughter. It is joy. It is interdependency. It is supporting one another. It is forgiving each other. It is sharing of joys and sorrows. With these ingredients, there will be happiness in the family, and homes will be happy homes. So how do we build a happy family and a happy home? There are many components, many ingredients to build a happy family and a happy home. Let me just list out only 7 important constituents that will help in constructing a family that is happy and a home that is happy. In the first place, love selflessly, sacrificially, and unconditionally. The family is founded, built, and thrives on love of each member. It is said, family is where life begins and love never ends. Love is selflessness and self is lovelessness. Sisters and brothers, a family should be an anchor, a port in a storm, a refuge, a happy place in which to dwell, a place where we are loved and where we can love. Family is a place we love, we share, we play, we laugh, we fight, we forgive, we live and learn to love again. Pope Francis warns us in his apostolic exhortation Amoris Laetitia not to treat affective relationships the way we treat material objects and the environment. Everything is disposable. Everyone uses and throws away, takes and breaks, exploits and squeezes to the last drop, then goodbye. These are the words of Pope Francis. Let a family be a circle of strength and love. But fights and hurts do take place in a family, sometimes. There is a beautiful song, Everybody Hurts, which was sung by Father Ray Kelly, an Irish Catholic priest, on Britain Got Talent show in 2018, which touched my heart. It has had millions and millions of views. The lyrics are stirring. It simply says that everybody hurts sometimes, but to hang on because you are not alone. Sisters and brothers, family means no one is alone or left behind or forgotten. Every family should look to the icon of the Holy Family of Nazareth, advises Pope Francis in Amoris Laetitia. The Holy Family was a happy family and a happy home. Where there is selflessness, sacrifice, and unconditional love, there love abounds. This results in happiness and joy in the family and home. Secondly, let there be a lifestyle of forgiveness. It is said that good forgivers make good lovers. Hence, good lovers who are good forgivers can create happy families and homes. Sisters and brothers, forgiveness is not a feeling. When one is hurt, one does not feel like forgiving. More likely, one feels anger and rage. If forgiveness is to take place, one must choose it, not wait to feel it. You can't reach for anything new if your hands are still full of yesterday's baskets of unforgiveness. Forgiveness brings happiness, while unforgiveness brings sadness and misery. Let me tell you a story. Two little brothers had a fight at home over some toys. Later, after supper, before they went to bed, the mother joined them for night prayer. Before she began the night prayer, she asked her young boys to make peace. She requested the younger son to forgive his brother. The little fellow refused. The mother lovingly persuaded and coaxed, but the little fellow flatly refused and did not budge. The mother finally, in exasperation, asked why he was refusing to forgive. Promptly, the little boy said, "How can I? He's my brother." Often, like the little boy, the people we'll find hardest to forgive are those closest to us, like brothers, sisters, parents, spouses, children, and close relatives. But remember, God calls us to make forgiveness and healing of relationships a way of life, especially in our families. St. Paul in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32 tells us to be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ has forgiven you. This is a recipe for happiness and joy. So many families have inherited broken ways of dealing with hurt and conflict. The result is that instead of coming to our brother or sister in gentleness with a heart to restore the relationship, we come to our brother with a weapon, our hurts, or the offense, with the heart of someone who has been betrayed. We are ready to fight. This attitude is detrimental in promoting peace, joy, and happiness in the family. Pope Francis in Amoris Laetitia counsels us. Our first reaction when we are annoyed should be one of heartfelt blessing, asking God to bless, free, and heal that person. And further, the Pope says, if we accept that God's love is unconditional, that the Father's love cannot be bought or sold, then we will become capable of showing boundless love and forgiving others even if they have wronged us. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 14 and 15. For if you forgive others that trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Sisters and brothers, there is no remedy for love, but only to love more, said Henry David Thoreau, the poet and philosopher. The third ingredient is love your spouse and love your children. Sisters and brothers, married couples must reflect the image of God. Growing in intimacy with God and one another must be their prime mission. This should include prayer, both individually and as a family, the sacraments, frequent confession and Holy Communion, and devotion to Mary, particularly through the daily recitation of the Holy Rosary. Together with their children, they must cherish and love them more than anything else. If you do so, I promise that your family will be a happy family and your family will have a happy home. We have examples of hundreds of fathers and mothers who have been great examples to their children. A father surely is a pillar and an anchor to a family, but a mother is the heartbeat in the home, and without her, there seems to be no heart throb. No language can express the power and beauty and heroism of a mother's love. Mother is the name for God in the lips and hearts of little children, said the famous British author William Thackeray. For many children in the city of Kolkata, the street is their only home. One evening, Mother Teresa, now Saint Teresa of Calcutta, found a little boy sitting on the ground in the busy road where she lived. She bent down to talk to him, and seeing that he was alone, she asked one of the sisters to take him to the children's home. The boy smiled with delight as the sisters gave him a bath and fresh, clean clothes before putting him to bed. However, the little boy ran away in the middle of the night. He was found, but the next night he ran away again. Luckily, when day came, he was found wandering about in the heat and the dust of the streets. So Mother Teresa said to the nuns, "If he runs again, please follow him and see where he goes." Sure enough, that night he disappeared again, and this time a sister found him crouching in the dark by a little fire. He was with a woman who was cooking leftovers of food she had found on the streets. The sister asked the little boy, "Why did you run away from home?" The boy explained that the woman beside him was his mother. "This is my home because this is where my mother is," he said, smiling. He had no shelter, but he had his mother, and that was home, and he was happy. The fourth ingredient is to keep channels of communication open. Communication is important, sisters and brothers, during both the good times and tough times. Children often find it hard to put their feelings into words, and just knowing that their parents are listening can be enough. Talk about yourself, not just about your problems, but about your daily life. If they feel included in the things you do, they are more likely to see the value of including you in the things they do. This creates an environment of peace, joy, togetherness, and happiness. The fifth characteristic I want to share with you is don't work too much. Spending time with the family is important to almost everyone. Parents often find themselves short on time to spend with their children. They're so busy with work and household chores that they can't find time to read a bedtime story or even to play for half an hour. Sisters and brothers, make that a part of your everyday routine. It is proven that if you are away all the time and don't prioritize your kids will internalize feelings of insecurity. They will begin to believe that they are not valuable enough. The sixth constituents to build a happy home is humor and laughter. Let there be a lot of laughter in your homes. When parents have a healthy sense of humor, the stresses of everyday life are diminished. I believe a family that laughs together lives a happy and joyful life. Humor and laughter are like the windshield wipers It doesn't stop the rain, but it allows us to keep going happily. The seventh aspect I want to share with you is family prayer. Very important. Family prayer is the greatest deterrent to sin, and hence the most beneficent provider of joy and happiness. The old saying is so true. The family that prays together stays together. May each family rediscover family prayer, which helps to bring about mutual understanding and forgiveness, said Pope Francis. Let me tell you a true story. Karol Wojtyla, who would become Pope John Paul II, lost his mother at age of 9 and his older brother 3 years later, leaving him alone with his father. Karol recalled waking up before dawn and seeing the figure of his father kneeling, deeply absorbed in prayer. This example of his father left an indelible impression on the young Karol. His father had a deep and intimate relationship with God the Father and transmitted this to his son. This was an undeniably important factor in the development of the man who would someday become Pope John Paul II, now a saint, one of the greatest and clearest reflections of true fatherhood in the history of the world. Joshua in chapter 24 verse 15 says, "As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." Let the words of Joshua be true for all our families. My brothers and sisters, God longs for family, and it is His plan that we build happy families and happy homes. God bless you.